Definitely, but I think maybe people
Yeah.
that are more familiar with Punisher.
First off, congratulations on your new series, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We
Thanks for having
appreciate
us.
yours.
I'm going to start with Tessa. Besides starring on the miniseries, obviously, you also serve as a executive producer. So I want to ask you, as an actress, what attracted you the most from the original 2020 novel? And then as a producer, what did you feel you need to nail 100% so that this adaptation worked the best in this format?
Oh, thanks so much. I mean, one thing that attracted me first and foremost is I'm a big fan of Will Oberoi, our filmmaker. I had seen his first film, um, Lady Macbeth, and his second film, Eileen, and I just always wanted to work with him. And I really love getting to work with filmmakers that have worked in a certain space and then want to do something that feels very signature and still in an auteur space, but is a swing for them. I love taking big swings with people that I admire. So I knew he wanted to make something for television. I knew he wanted to make something pulpier than what he's made in the past. And I found that really exciting and interesting. And then I thought the world, the book is set in a very small town in the UK, very close to where Will actually grew up, which is very close to London. So he understood that dynamic in the same way that Jon does, living in a small town that's close to Los Angeles, sort of the small town dynamics, but close to a big metropolitan city. And I thought the idea of setting it in Atlanta and the kind of cultural specificity, I think one challenge was because Will is from the UK and it's very different. That sensibility is making sure that our writer and our creator, that it felt like the resetting made sense and we could really talk to this place with real specificity. And it's a gift. It is very rarefied to get to shoot something actually in the place where it's set and tell the story of a place. So I think that was one thing professorally that I wanted us to be able to nail. And I think we did okay. You spent so much time in Dahlonega and he spent time with law enforcement there and really got to know those folks. And I think that was really helpful with bringing a sense of authenticity to the show.
I wouldn't expect less from Jon. So you were awesome, Tessa. Jon, one of the main themes of the miniseries is that we have different perspectives and unreliable narrators. So as an actor, I want to ask you, how fun was it to play a character where you need to sell twice? As in, first, the actual character in the series, but then also within the character, as you're selling Jack's perspectives, lies, secrets, information, so that audiences are kept on their toes within the mystery.
Yeah, man. Thanks. I mean, I think the job is always to try to tell the truth and play the reality of the situation. And I think for him, he's just drowning from the beginning. It's just the walls are closing in on him. He's very desperate. There's so many different things. Each episode, each sort of turn and twist presents a new issue for him and a new problem for him. And I think underneath it all, he's a man who's sort of reeling. He's a man who's kind of disgusted with himself, disgusted with his life, disgusted where he is. And now the sort of apex, the source of it all is right there, and that presents a whole new world. So there's plenty of things to kind of root yourself in for this character.
And I think you did a fantastic job. Before wrapping up, guys, I want to ask you, why do you think the subgenre of mystery crime solving is so popular? Why do you think audiences are so obsessed with these types of series or books or movies, Tessa?
Just generally, I don't know. I think because we're, fascinated with uncovering the truth. I think because it gives us amateurs at home the opportunity to be sleuths ourselves and to make sort of guesses. And I think the best of these shows take us in a lot of twists and turns. I think the opportunity in a show like ours is because at the end of it, it really is about people and relationships. And so hopefully the interpersonal feels as propulsive and dynamic as the mystery. That I think is what we really wanted this show to feel like.
Audiences being involved in the whole mystery and solving it. How about you, Jon?
Yeah, I agree. I think that any opportunity to keep the audience leaning in and to keep the audience engaged and to keep them guessing, I think that's great. And I think that, but I think it's ultimately that sort of bells and whistles. It's what's going on underneath with the characters and the dynamic of the relationships and the pain of the people, and trying to really be about something, deeper at the end. And I think letting the mystery sort of be the Trojan horse for the for the deeper, for the deeper resonance. I think that when it works, that's what it is. That's certainly what we went after for this one.
I mean, I started watching the series, and it wasn't at all what I was expecting, especially the first episode. So I think you guys did a great job with, like you say, the Trojan horse to get you involved and then hook you and then develop the characters. Before going, I want to ask you, I think it's the first time you guys worked together. I'm not sure, but Jon, what surprised you about Tessa's work on set? And then Tessa, what surprised you the most about Jon's work on set?
Obviously, I was an enormous admirer of hers, and I don't know that it was surprising. I mean, I was a fan before, and I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what it takes to do the kind of work that she does. I think that, I don't know if it surprised me. There's nowhere, just as like a raw performer, there's nowhere where she can't go. So there's
Okay.
nowhere, there's a unbelievable, there's no limitations. And I think I found that she was very hungry, not hungry, but she was down with any direction you wanted to go, no matter how insane. She was like, bring it on. It was very, it was very athletic, and there's just nothing you can do to sort of shake her.
She's game. How about you, Tessa? What just surprised you, or you were like, oh, I knew about this, but damn, about Jon?
All I'd ever heard about Jon was great things, and people loved him. And obviously from his work, I knew he's super talented, but you never know how people get there. I hadn't actually asked, even though I had had conversations with people that had directed him and stuff, I hadn't asked him necessarily about his process. I think something that surprised me, he's just full of surprises. He's full of surprises. It's never the same. It's always, you don't know what he's going to do or say, or I think I was just constantly surprised by him and what he was bringing to it. And also, maybe this is something that could surprise me, actually. He's, I think, very tender, and maybe would not know. I mean, I assumed that was the case because I've seen him in things where he has a kind of tenderness. But I think, he's very tender and vulnerable and sensitive, and has real access to that. And maybe that's something that people might not assume necessarily.
And you see it on screen with Jon, with his, for example, in the series, his relationship with his daughter. You see the tender, you see that aspect of
definitely. But I think maybe people that are more familiar with the Punisher.
Yes.
Is that right?
See?
Yes.
Nothing she can't do.
Also, Tessa, congrats on Hera, Tessa, and also Jon with the Bear and stuff, and the Punisher, and obviously Daredevil. Big fan of your work. So guys, again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and congratulations on the series. It's really awesome. I think people are gonna dig it. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Saludos de Puerto Rico.
Thank
Merry Christmas.
you. Happy Kwanzaa.